Player to player. All right, let's talk here about third base. I mean, when did you know you that one moment where you were saying, yeah, I'm a big league third baseman. I am a Major League Baseball third baseman. Was there a moment? Was there
My first day in the big leagues.
first day in the big leagues? I mean, but you knew it was going to stick. I mean, you felt like, yeah, I'm here.
I was always confident.
Yeah.
I was always confident in all the sports. I was a big hockey player and a baseball player and good golfer. So I was always confident my whole life. Tell my kids all the time, I go, I've been up to bat thousands and thousands of times. And there wasn't one at bat I didn't think I was going to get a hit.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing these kids face. They're not as confident.
Right.
They take it too personal. If they go for 1, 0 for 2, they think they're no good, and then they try to change everything.
Yeah.
So just sticking with an approach and realize 70% of the time you're not going to get a hit anyway.
Right. Did you have the same confidence in high school as you did in college and minors and the majors?
I was the same.
Nothing really changed much.
No, I was the same. We won state championship in high school, and I always knew, wasn't cocky or nothing, but I always knew I could play and help a team out. And
Sure.
I was confident hitting, confident fielding. I could run. So
The decision you made to go to college, I mean, you were drafted out of high school at a pretty high round. You decided to go to Michigan. Why?
First of all, I grew up in Detroit, and Michigan was the only school I loved. And
Sure.
I was recruited by a lot of schools, and Michigan was a top 10 program back then. We went to the College World Series every year and that kind of stuff. And I wasn't big enough to play a full season of pro ball out of high school. I didn't think I had to get some weight and put on some weight and be able to handle that. Plus, I was realistic. I knew the minor leagues aren't fun, and I got a chance to go to Michigan, first class operation, get to play for a good team, get bigger and stronger, get some more playing time, and then once your junior year's over with, you can go try your pro ball.
Did anybody help you make that decision of when you said you were realistic, you weren't big enough, you hadn't put on a lot of weight yet? Did anybody help you with that decision, or was that
not really? Maybe my parents and my high school coach, Frank Corey. He played pro ball way back when, and he was my high school coach. He was really good. He was a third baseman also.
Okay.
And no, it was a pretty easy decision for me. I really didn't, I think the Expos sort of knew it too. I mean, they knew I really wanted to go to Michigan. I'm surprised I even got drafted. And so they knew. And
right.
they said, okay, we'll see you in a couple of years. And
how do you explain, or what's your opinion on the guys that just can't quite seem to stick in the big leagues? Matt Joyce comes to mind. A guy named Matt Luke I played with comes to mind. It was just these guys that hit they're tremendous hitters in AAA, AA, AAA. They're fantastic. They get to the majors and they're just back and forth. Why are they not sticking? What do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, I thought I hit better in the big leagues than I did in the minor leagues. I mean, it works both ways. There was a lot of great hitters in the minor leagues that I played with and against that I thought were going to be big leaguers, and they got up to the big leagues but couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It might be it wasn't a physical thing, I don't think. I just think it was more mental. I was strong mentally. You have to be very strong. I mean, it's tough. I mean, it's very competitive. Everyone wants your job. Unless you get really established, I mean, you could be gone at any moment.
Sure.
Either released, sent back down. So I really don't have an answer for that. I think it's more mental, because it sure as heck wasn't physical. Because I've seen some of these guys hit, and they could hit better than me in the minors, hit the ball farther, and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But I always preached, you got to be all around guy. You got to be able to field, run, hit, and I always prided myself and be able to do all those things pretty equal. And maybe some of the guys, they were known as hitters. Maybe they, couldn't play defensively in the big leagues.
Right.
Or made a lot of base running blunders. I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of that too.
Right.
With each specific guy. But if you could help a team defensively, running, and hit, I mean, you got a pretty good chance.
Good shot.
It's like I tell my kids. It's very simple to play baseball. Very simple. There's two things you got to do. As a position guy, I'm not talking pitching. I never pitched in my life.
Sure.
Two things you got to be able to do to play baseball for a long time. You got to hit a fastball, and you got to make a routine play on defense.
Okay.
If you can do those two things, you can play for a very long time. That's all you got to do. You could be very slow, but if a routine ground ball is hit to you, a routine fly ball, you make that play, You hit a fastball, you can play a long time.
Fantastic. The thing that I'm trying to teach these kids that I work with is about having clarity and intent with everything that you do, including taking reps on your own at home by yourself when nobody's looking, having the intent and purpose to do something. If you can describe it, which you might not, what in high school in particular, if you can remember in high school, what was your clarity, your purpose, your drive? I mean, ever since 4 years old, you were thinking, I'm going to be a big league ball player, or was there something different? Was there something else in high school that?
No, I never really thought, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I wish I was, when you're young, you wish you were going to play in the major leagues or the NHL. I was a big hockey guy, and I never really thought about that. I just thought about, I've always been pretty good just taking what's at hand. I never got too far ahead of myself.
Sure.
When I was in high school, I worried about my high school team. I wanted my high school team to win the league and then go to state and win the state. And fortunately, we got to the state championship a couple times, won one. And then went to Michigan the same way. It was winning the Big Ten, winning the regionals, getting the College World Series, and trying to win that.
With a high school player, a very good high school player that has a chance to get drafted or go to a big D1 college. Is college more of an emphasis? Do you feel like this kid should go to college? Do you feel like he should play pro ball? Is that?
Well, in my opinion, I mean, obviously, each kid's different.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I think I had like 15 D1 guys. I mean, really good, like Virginia's, Florida State, South Carolina kids, so that was good. And my feeling is, we had a couple guys drafted last year, and I go, first of all, you guys are going to good schools. I have the same thing. I went to Michigan. You guys are going to great baseball schools. It's going to be a great experience. Unless these teams, and I said, pro ball is not fun. Only spot in pro ball is fun is the major leagues. Everything else is kind of crummy. I mean, it's still baseball, but it's rough. It's hard on you.
Yeah.
Terrible travel. The fields are a lot better now in the minor leagues than when I played. I was still. At the end of my minor league career, it was right before they started building all these new parks. So I was still in the old parks from the 1930s and 40s.
Yeah.
And they were dumps.
Yeah.
Now they're very nice.
Sure.
But unless you get, this is my theory, unless you get life-changing money, and I don't know what that is. I really don't. Each family is a different situation. But I just say, unless you get life-changing money, you're going to a great school. You can never discount an education. Chances of making the major leagues aren't great, even when you sign, and let alone sticking and making an unbelievable living. So go to college. I mean, you'll still have the opportunity down the road. Plus, you get experience against better competition than you had in high school.
Yeah.
That's sort of a good,
Segue.
middle segue into a pro career, and you'll get bigger, stronger.
Do you find that kids, high school, ever struggle, baseball guys struggle with perception versus reality?
No, I see it all the time here.
Yeah.
Here at IMG, I'm not rude or anything, but the perception of what kind of ball player they are and what they really are is pretty big. I mean, it amazes me sometimes. I mean, we have a lot of kids that, say, I want to play LSU and Virginia and University of Florida, Florida State, and I said, that's wonderful. Have they contacted you? Have they seen you? Do they want to sign you? I go, no. Well, I mean, if you're a senior, most of these big programs are 2, 3, 4 years out, recruiting guys.
Sure. Sure.
So maybe you should be a little bit more realistic of your baseball dreams. I go, first of all, there's hundreds of schools. Only takes one school to like you. That's it. Only takes one. Go to that school that likes you and play.
Yeah.
You got to play. I'd rather go to a school that's not a top tier Division One. Well, I know I can play.
Yeah.
If you can play, you'll get noticed. You're a scout. I mean, if you're good, they'll notice you. But if you're on the bench, you never play. How can anyone scout you?
Sure. Sure.
Go somewhere where they like you, and you get the opportunity to play. I'd rather be one of the top 9 at a Division II school and get to play than be the 35th man on a Division I team and maybe get 10 at bats in the year.
Sure.
To me, I'd be bored.
Yeah.
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 Now, if you really like those schools, go for it. I mean, I would never tell a kid not to go. All these schools you can walk on. If you really want to try, go. I don't care.
Right.
You know, if that's your dream,
Right.
if Florida State's your dream school, for example,
Sure.
and they're really not recruiting you, and they really have no interest in you, they do have a walk-on. All these programs have walk-ons. You're more than welcome to go to school there,
Try
to walk on,
Yeah.
and try to make it.
Yeah. I can't stress it enough, the homework that I give my guys, it's just constant homework, and some do it, frankly, and some don't do it. And it shows, it very much shows. Can you kind of take me through a high school workout, your personal Chris Sabo high school deal, college, minors, pro? Can you take me through kind of how
What I
each
did?
one progressed? Yeah.
We never really took batting practice in high school. I can hardly remember. I'm sure we did a little bit, but it wasn't, you know, we didn't have no I never saw a turtle batting cage until I went to Michigan. Now you went to Michigan, I went to college, it was different. You know, more structure, you know, a lot more batting practice, a lot more grounders. You know, you're taking 100 ground balls a day or whatever it is. And, you know, I jumped big time talent-wise, I thought. I got really improved defensively and offensively, and
Yeah.
I got stronger.
Sure.
First time I ever lifted weights, really.
Right.
I put on I think that first year at Michigan, by the time we started in the spring, I put on like 20, 25 pounds.
Did you ever find that you wanted to do more work than all the other guys? I mean, frankly, not everybody in college is going to get drafted. So,
I worked hard. Got there early, took extra batting practice.
Right.
Always found a guy that we took extra stuff, and you know, just
Gotcha.
me and him, and before practice.
Right.
I didn't go crazy.
yeah,
You know, I think sometimes kids just go nuts. I always tell them, always leave with a good impression. You know, if you take 15 swings and you're feeling good,
Yeah.
get out of there.
yeah. And on the other side of the coin, if we got a catcher who keeps dropping the ball, he's got to do
gotta
a million
rep.
transfers until he gets it right, right?
That's a big thing here. We have a lot of transfer problems.
Yeah.
And these guys get all the instruction they want, catchers. But I've been here 2 years, and it's a big problem. And I had 3 Division I catchers last year, and they did the same thing.
Did you feel like in high school, college, you were the best player on the team?
Best player?
Best player on the team?
I don't know. I never thought in those terms.
Yeah.
I always started.
Yeah.
That was always my goal. But I always progressed.
Surely you stood out, though.
I guess.
Yeah,
But
a lot.
I always progressed. I always knew, you know, we had a better chance if I was in there.
You've probably been asked this a million times, but the goggles, was that for dust? Was that eyesight?
I had a
Was that-
prescription. Because I sort of struggled the year before I got them. I think it was AA. I had daytime I was fine, but nighttime I had a hard time. I couldn't understand. I had a quick bat, and I was a little behind, or my timing wasn't there. And the problem was, back then, the only contacts I could get were the hard kind.
Right.
And I was a base stealer, and I slid head first a lot. And I tried them, and it drove me crazy. Dirt would get in there, and it would you couldn't play. And then I tried different types of glasses. I tried all kinds, and they moved. You know what I'm saying? When you run, that drove me crazy.
Yeah.
You know. Then I saw I was at Lens Crafters, and I saw this picture, an ad with Reggie Jackson
Yeah.
wearing these rec specs. Must have been, I don't think he ever wore them in a game. He was wearing them in batting practice. I said, man, those look pretty good. So
Yeah.
I went to Lens Crafters and said, can you make, that's when they can make them in an hour.
Right,
Here's my prescription. Can I try these? Tried them, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
They were snug. They didn't move.
Yeah.
When I slid, I'd get dirt in my face, but I could just take them off, clean them, and they were fine.
They were kind of big. With no problem seeing the ball. Did it take a while to figure out?
They were tight to your face.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem seeing the ball.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't look this way. I looked straight at it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We both work with kids. What is the best advice we can give to a player looking to play Major League Baseball in high school? What is the best advice we
First of all, I would never tell a kid. They all say, "Oh, I want to play Major League Baseball." And I go, "Well, that's great." I would never tell people not to have a dream. Always have a dream, but you got to be realistic in a dream. It's because you have talent. God gives you talent to play Major League Baseball. Some guys, we have a lot of guys here that they don't have a God-given ability to play Major League Baseball. I can tell a kid not. I'm not going to say that to a kid. But it's a fact. I can watch a kid. I've seen enough players. There's some stuff you can't teach.
Right.
You can't teach a fast bat. can't teach a kid to run fast.
Athleticism.
You can't teach it arm speed. You know, a kid get a little stronger, get a little better than that. But, you know, a kid coming in here running 7.5 ain't gonna go 6.5 in a 60. That stuff doesn't happen. You know, it just doesn't. And so my advice would be, just keep working, and play the game as long as you can, and see where you end up. So just take it as far as you can.
Right.
And if you have that dream, go for it. You know.
Last thing, just real quick on talent and skill. If a kid doesn't have that natural talent, but you build on his skill, can his skill outweigh the talent?
And I had 4 guys that were 6'5" runners and below. That's a lot. Now, a couple of them are unbelievable base runners, and a couple of them were okay.
Sure.
You know, even though they're extremely fast, they weren't good base runners, which doesn't make sense in high school, but they weren't.
Yeah.
But we worked on it. At the end of the year, those guys were better. You know, they learned how to get a jump when they were stealing. They sort of figured out, some of the what do you call it, instincts that you need to have on a basis.
Yeah.
You know, I was fast, but I had an instinct, of running. You know, I could tell. I needed a coach to tell me where to run or when to stop and stuff like that. I could just, fortunately I was born with that muscle. I never even thought about it. But if I was on first, I knew always when to go first or third. Just by the speed of the ball, the sound of,
Everything, yeah.
I tell kids, I go, baseball's seeing and hearing. You learn a lot by hearing. So don't discount that tool. I know you got to see, obviously, but here, you can tell. Like if I'm a fielder, I can always tell. Wood, it's even easier. But even aluminum, you can tell.
Right.
When a ball's hit hard, when a ball's not hit hard.
Yeah.
What part of the bat the ball's hit off.
Sure. Right.
So I go, you guys open up your ears, too.
Yeah.
And they look at you like you're a nut, but whatever. I can't force a kid, like I tell them, I can't force a kid to do anything.
Yeah.
I can just give you my opinion, tell you. Only thing I have control is the lineup.
Right.
Right. And it's pretty easy. You produce, you play. You get an opportunity, you don't produce, I'll try someone else. I think that's how sport is. Sport is not not socialist. It's not democratic or whatever. It's if you produce, you play.
Right. It's a good way to end it, man. I appreciate it, Chris.
All right.
Thanks for your time.